pre-anniversary baits. Yay! Also, Brendan is not shafted anymore. And also, we finally get an evolution for Torchic in the form of another sync pair. Well, how good are these bait units? And should you scout or skip? In this video, we discussed that. So with that said, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button, comment your thoughts, and subscribe if you haven't. And let's get to it. Here we go. Yo, yo, yo! This is Sol, also known as SPL Gamma, also known as Spatial Gamma, also known as Grunt, Yardist Team Skull Grunt. And this is Pokemon Masters EX, where we discuss the first 4 sync pairs of the August Datamine, guys. So let me inform you guys that these sync pairs are coming out on the first week of August and the end of July. So July 29, July 31, August 3, and August 5. All of them are ending on August 27. So very close to each other. And as you might know, DNA has already mentioned that the next update, the second half of the August Datamine or August update, is gonna happen after the 14th, on or after the 14th. So either 14 or 15. And we'll know the real bait units, of the August Datamine. Now, as you might know, the anniversary, for those who are asking again, the anniversary happens at on the last few days of August. That's either August 28 or 29, either of those two dates. And those, every single time it's nearing the anniversary, we have the run up to something. So this year, this month, it's the run up to 3-year anniversary. We get quite a lot of gems, as you might know. I've already done a gem count. And for those who are complaining why the number is low, it's actually not too bad for the first 14 days. So we will be getting more gems, so stay tuned for that. But as for the sync pairs, we get 4 until August 5. Expect at least 4 more sync pairs I'm expecting. I'm expecting probably 2 more spotlights or at least 1 spotlight, the Team Aqua counterpart. I'm hoping it's Matt. Plus, probably, you know, people are guessing that I haven't seen it myself, but people are saying that probably the primal forms of Groudon and Kyogre will come out. Probably Wally will get a sync pair. It's probably a master pair. It's probably a poke pair. So I highly suggest, if you're gonna scout, guys, August 27 is the last day. You can hold on to your gems first and decide after whether you want to scout for these sync pairs or not. But Signa Suit May and Signa Suit Brendan both are Pokefair scouts. That means there's a 10% chance of scouting for either of the two, or rather a random 5-star sync pair as you scout for their banners, as well as these two, Luker and Courtney, are Spotlight scouts. That means you have a 7% chance of scouting a random 5-star sync pair. But in there, if you want to get either May, Brendan, Luker, or Courtney, you have a 2% chance of getting them while scouting for their banners. The good thing is that Luker and Courtney are both Spotlight scouts. And that means once their banners end on August 28, you have a chance of scouting for either of them. Now, let me tell you guys right now that the anniversary sync pair, whoever it's gonna be, will probably contain both Luker and Courtney, since anniversary banner probably August 28 or 29. So their banners are already gone. And if you are excited to scout for either of the two of them, you can probably get them in the anniversary banners, whatever you are scouting for. But if you want to scout for them as early as their release dates, you have two options. First option is go the normal route, normal non-paid gems, where you can get candies or candy coins by scouting 3 multiples on their respective banners. Or you can guarantee yourself 1 copy. I think it's 7,500 paid gems to guarantee yourself enough items to 6-star EX both of them, as well as 1 guaranteed copy for both of them. So you get the 20 custom power-ups. You get, I think, do you get the champion spirits? I'm not sure if you get the champion spirits. I have to check, but you get enough custom power-ups for each one of them. And best of all, you get 1 sure copy. But then that's 7,500 paid gems. And that's the sure, the guaranteed way of scouting for them. Meanwhile, for Poke Fairs, there is no sure way. There's no paid banner, paid route for them except for the daily discount. So you are stuck with a 2% chance of scouting for either Signa Suit May or Signa Suit Brendan in their respective banners. Now with that aside, let's move on to their individual kit, starting with Signa Suit May and BLAZIKEN. If you see this banner or if you see this Mindscape image, let's battle. Congratulate yourself. You have successfully scouted for Signa Suit May, who is a tech fire type sync pair with 1 fighting type move in the form of low sweep. You have Blaze Kick as your main damaging attack. It's a 4 move gauge attack. I think it's 90% accuracy, which hits a single target, 10% chance of leaving the opponent burned, plus critical hits land more easily. You have Low Sweep, which every time you use this 2 move gauge, you get to lower the opponent's speed stat -1. You have Dire Hit All Plus. Recently, Pokemon Masters has been giving Dire Hit All Plus to a lot of tech sync pairs. Now you can use Dire Hit All Plus to raise everyone's critical hit rate +2. And then you got Fired Up, raises your accuracy by 1 so that you will never miss Blaze Kick unless the opponent's pretty evasive. You get to give yourself a move gauge acceleration. You get to raise your attack stat +4, and you reduce your sync move countdown -1. As a tech sync pair, she is a nuker. So the more the opponent's defense is lowered, the stronger your sync move is gonna be. Plus, by using your sync move for the first time, you get to Mega Evolve into Mega BLAZIKEN, where your stats increase considerably. Your attack stat goes up to 508, which is pretty high. This is 5-star stats. If you make her 6-star EX, it's probably above 550. Your speed stat is also very high. Your defense and special defense are not too bad, average for tech sync pairs. And now let's talk about the passive skills first, guys. At the start of the battle, you got Head Start 2, which reduces your sync move countdown -2 immediately at the start of the battle. You have Team Debut Dash. At the start of the battle, every single one of your sync pairs gets a speed +2. Pretty good. And you get Defense Crush 9 every single time you attack the opponent, either using Blaze Kick or Low Sweep. You get to decrease their defense stat -1. And then after Mega Evolving, after you use your first sync move using Signa Suit May, you change some passive skills. Or you change every single one of your passives. Head Start 2 becomes Fuel Economy 1. For some people, they don't like this. For me, I like Fuel Economy 1 because it just reduces your sync move requirement, or your move gauge requirement. Low Sweep becomes a 1 move gauge attack. Blaze Kick becomes a 3 move gauge attack. So you can spam Low Sweep, Low Sweep, Low Sweep, Low Sweep, or Blaze Kick to guarantee yourself of critical hits and a chance to make the opponent burned. Propulsion 1, every single time you attack an opponent, you have a 20% chance of reducing your sync move countdown -1. Again, you can spam this with Low Sweep, 1 move gauge, and a chance to lower your sync move countdown. And then Defense Destroyer 9. Every single time you hit the opponent, instead of lowering the opponent's defense -1, you get to lower their defense -2 instead. Now, I would say that this passive skill is pretty good. But with Dojo Gloria bringing a defense -3 as well as speed -3, with surging strikes. This looks pretty average now. Defense Destroyer 9 lowers the opponent's defense stat -2. Meanwhile, Dojo Gloria, 1 surging strikes lowers the opponent's defense and speed stat -3. So, well, outclassed immediately by Dojo Gloria. But then, Fuel Economy 1 is something that I like. But then Dojo Gloria's Surging Strikes is only a 3-move gauge attack. And it's so hard. I guess the good thing about Signa Suit May is that Low Sweep becomes a 1-move gauge attack, plus Propulsion 1 is not too bad. Propulsion 1, 20% chance of lowering your sync move countdown. So for her, I would recommend Critical Strike 2 and Superpower 3 if you want a 10% extra damage. But I'd rather stick to Critical Strike 2 if I were you. And now with her Sync Grid, you get Dire Hit All plus MP Refresh 2 at 1 out of 5, which is pretty much worthless. Flame Proof at 1 out of 5. At 2 out of 5, you get Fast Track 9 every single time you attack an opponent using Blaze Kick or Low Sweep. You get to raise your speed stat +1. Take note that you already raise your speed stat immediately +2 because of her passive skill at the start of the battle. Not just for her, but also for the other sync pairs. You get Fired Up Slippery 2, which if you use Fired Up, you get to raise your evasiveness stat +2. You also get an MP Refresh at 2 out of 5. And then Speeding Stun, if it's sunny, you get to speed up your move gauge. Unfortunately, you do not get, what is the counterpart of Speeding Sun? Charging Sun. You do not get Charging Sun with Signa Suit May. At a 3 out of 5, you get Adrenaline 1. Reduces your sync move countdown -1 after you use a sync move. You get Cakewalk, another sync move multiplier. The lower the opponent's speed stat is, the stronger your sync move damage. You get Inertia. The higher the speed stat is of you, the higher, the stronger the sync move damage. You get Insult to Injury. The lower the opponent's defense stat, the stronger your Blaze Kick or Low Sweep is. Fierce Entry 2 maximizes your attack stat if you have this, plus you use Fired Up. And then Trip Up 9, every single time you attack an opponent, you get to lower their speed stat -1. Which is good, especially if you want Cakewalk. So, not only do you get to lower the opponent's defense stat by attacking them because of Defense Destroyer 9, and, you know, you can lower the opponent's speed stat by using Low Sweep, but Trip Up 9 guarantees that you're able to lower the opponent's speed stat even by using Blaze Kick, which I think is okay. And then you get 4 Sync Nuke tiles, making Signa Suit May pretty strong as a Fire-type tech sync pair. Let's move on. Signa Suit Brendan and LATIOS, guys. We can definitely become friends with any Pokemon. He is a Pokefair. He is a Dragon-type support sync pair. And check out his stats, guys. 660 HP. Attack stats pretty low. Special attack stat is pretty low, but not too bad for a support. But check out his defenses. 277 and 288. Speed stat pretty average. And then, let us quickly jump to Mega LATIOS. After you use a sync move on him, or using him, you get to raise a lot of defense stats. His defense stat becomes 304, which I think by 6-star EXing him, it's gonna be, if not 300, above 350, very close to 350. And his special defense goes up to 400 something if you decide to 6-star EX him. And that level of special defense is very good, especially for something like Signa Suit Brendan, who relies on getting hit. So as his attacks, you have Dragon Breath, 30% chance of leaving the target paralyzed, and then Luster Purge, 50% chance of lowering the opponent's special defense -1. But then, your passive skills over here Team Smart Start 1 at the start of the battle gives yourself or gives everyone in your team a special moves up next effect, which this is actually powering up everyone's special attack damage by 40%, which I should pause here and highlight that thing right now. You also get free Venge 4, so every single time you get hit, you have a 50% chance of giving yourself a free move next effect, and then you got Unexpected Benefit ×2, which basically guarantees that your Luster Purge will lower the opponent's special defense. -2 every single time you use Luster Purge. So, yeah, every single time you use Luster Purge, 100% chance of lowering the opponent's special defense -2. And as you might know, LATIOS has a multiplier, added benefit I think, or something, added insult or something, where she relies on the opponent to have lowered special defense. And Signa Suit Brendan is one of the good combinations of Anniversary May, because Anniversary May, again, LATIOS relies on the opponent's special defense lowered. But then right now we got a lot of sync pairs that can lower the opponent's special defense. So you can pair her up with a lot of other sync pairs. But then after Mega Evolving, guys, after you use your sync move for the very first time, your Free Venge 4 becomes Free Venge 9. And this basically guarantees that every single time you get hit, you will have a free move next. Every single time you get hit. Which is good, because probably, you know, he's gonna be your tanker. Later on, you'll know that his grid has some defense buffs, which is good. So he's gonna be your tanker, he's gonna receive the bulk of the damage, he has very high special defense stats. And best of all, he has Potion, which you can use to recover your HP by 40%. Flying Free raises everyone's critical hit rate +1. And then it also uses up your move gauge. If you use your move gauge, if you use 3 move gauge, everyone's special attack stat +4. And also gives yourself or everyone a free move next effect, which we haven't seen this for a very long time, since Ingo, I think. So, the thing about Flying Free is that you only have 1 MP, and you get to raise everyone's crit to +1 only, unless of course if he has Team Sharp Entry 1, which I'm not sure, but I don't think he has Vigilance on his grid. So supports like this rely on Vigilance to tank the opponent's hits. So give him Vigilance as a lucky skill to make sure you do not get hit by criticals. Now let me check. Yes, you got Team Sharp Entry 1 at 3 out of 5, which basically raises your critical hit rate at the start of the battle for everyone +1. 1 out of 5, you get Precognition 2. 2 out of 5, you also get Fast Track 9 every single time you attack an opponent. You get to raise your speed stat +1. Hostile Environment 1. For Dragon Breath at 2 out of 5, increases the chances or doubles the chances of paralyzing the opponent. Flying Free MP Refresh, Potion Master Healer and MP Refresh at 2 out of 5, and another one of those 2 at 3 out of 5. And then if there's Psychic Terrain, you got Weird Recovery at 2 out of 5. 3 out of 5, you get Adrenaline 1 and Head Start 1. But I think the best one for him is Team Tough Luck 4. I think the sync pair that has this before is New Year Sabrina. So every time you get hit, you have a 50% chance of raising everyone's defense or special defense or both. And remember, he's gonna be tanking most of your hits. So not only if you get hit, you get to give yourself a free move next, but also now give yourself a 50% chance of raising everyone's defense or special defense or both. Then there's also Sync Free for All. After you use your Sync move, you get to give everyone a free move next effect. Signa Suit Brendan, very tanky. Very tanky is all I can say. Revenge 9 is a nice bonus. I think Revenge 9 and Team Tough Luck 4 is very good combination. In fact, I probably want to give him... There's a good lucky skill to give him is probably Revenge Boost 4 right now. It's the Legendary Gauntlet. Guaranteed Lucky Cookie gives you Revenge Boost 4. But then, Vigilance is better than Revenge Boost 4, especially for Sync pairs that cannot give yourself Vigilance. So probably give him Vigilance instead. And with that said, let's move on to the next one. Looker and CROAGUNK. If you see this background image, congratulations. And Looker is a Spotlight Scout. And as you might know, this is the second only the second poison type that can be 6-star EX right now. The last poison type we got was, well, exclude main poison type. Let's not talk about Signa Suit Giovanni's Poison Jab or any other sync pair with a secondary poison typing. But for main typing, we got Plumeria, we got Lucy, and then we got him, who can be 6-star EX, second poison type that can be 6-star EX. He's a striker. That means when you see 6-star EX him, you get to hit every single opponent. You got Poison Sting and Poison Jab as your attacking moves. Poison Sting, just 1 move gauge. Poison Jab, 3 move gauge. And every single time you attack an opponent, you get to have a 60% chance of leaving the opponent poisoned. 30% from the innate bonuses or the innate effects of either Poison Sting or Poison Jab. Another 30% is for the Toxic Chance passive skill. And then you got Dire Hit Plus, which you probably know what that does. On the case, gives yourself attack plus 4, raises your speed stat, and gives yourself a super effective up next effect, which you can use for either Poison Sting, Poison Jab, or for the Sync move. You can only use this once, so keep that in mind. And then as a striker, you do not a lot of strikers get multipliers in their grid or in their sync move. So no sync move multiplier here. Refreshing Water Guard reduces damage if you get hit by a water type move. So Water Guard, but then every single time it's raining and you attack, you get to recover a little bit of HP. Or, yeah, every single time you use Poison Sting or Poison Jab, when it's raining, you get to recover a little bit of HP. And then you reduce the water type damage that you receive. Super duper effective 9 basically doubles, almost doubles your Poison Sting and Poison Jab damage. And then again, Toxic Chance, already discussed that. Give him Critical Strike 2 to give you an extra bonus strike critical damage when you hit the opponent with a critical hit. And that's that very, very basic kit for him, guys. 1 out of 5 you get Anti-Toxin, 2 out of 5 you get MP Refresh for Dire Hit Plus, you get Fast Track for 50% chance of raising your speed stat every single time you attack. Raising Rain 1 charges your move gauge quicker when it's raining. Rain Gear 1 reduces damage when you get hit when the weather is rainy. And then you get another Water Guard, which reduces the damage you receive from water type moves. So imagine when it's raining and you receive water type damage. You get Refreshing Water Guard, you get Water Guard, you get Rain Gear 1. Tanky in the form of receiving water type damage. And Rain Gear 1 actually applies to any other type of attack except sync moves. But then, water type damage, you'll basically reduce the damage by around 60%. 20 from Refreshing Water Guard, probably 20 from Water Guard, and 20% from Rain Gear 1 or something like that. And then 3 out of 5 you get Catalyst. The first time you use a sync move, your sync or your move gauge will speed up. You get Double Down 5 if the opponent is weak to poison. You you get to hit the opponent with around 50% more damage. You get Virulent Toxin 5, another multiplier. If the opponent is poisoned or badly poisoned, and you use a sync move, 50% more damage. You get Furious Brawn. The higher your attack stat is, the stronger your Poison Jab or Poison Sting is gonna be. Hostile Environment 1 increases the chances of poisoning the opponent. I think this is overkill because you already get Toxic Chance 2. You already have a 60% chance of poisoning the opponent. Getting Hostile Environment 1 basically raises the chance to around 90%, which I don't think you need because this is not like making the opponent fall asleep. Poison is just poison the opponent once. They're already poisoned unless they use full heal. But then 60% chance is pretty high. I'd rather use it on another move. On the case, Berserker 2 raises your attack stat +2 to maximize your attack stat because I think on the case already increases your attack stat +4. And then you get 2 more Sync Noctiles, making him extra strong. That's it. That's Lucre and CROAGUNK. I'm not sure if he's better than Plumeria. I think he might be better than Plumeria with those multipliers. But I'm not too sure. Plumeria has Inertia. Inertia is a very good multiplier. But then Lucre has Double Down 5 and Virulent Toxin 5. Plus he can maximize his attack stat quicker. And yeah, I think he should be a little bit stronger than Plumeria, if not quite equal. But we'll have to see the damage calculations once I work on Lucre's Scout or Skip video. So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, we're moving on. He is, by the way, a Spotlight Scout once again, and he will be available by the time the anniversary banners come out. Last but not the least, we have Courtney and CAMERUPT with this You Seem Fun Mindscape image. Congratulations for scouting for Courtney if you see that. She's a tech sync pair, weak to water. You have 1 attacking move in the form of Bulldoze. 3 move gauge attacks, hits everyone. Ground Wish is a trainer move, which if you use this, you get to turn the field to ground zone. And by the way, congratulations because this is the first sync pair with a first zone setter that's not a limited unit, if I'm not mistaken. Because Psychic Terrain is not a zone. Psychic Wish brings in Psychic Terrain, which is not a zone. And this is the first and only, I think, zone setter that is not limited. You got X defense, very typical. You got Delete, raises the attack stat by 2, raises the defense and critical hit +1. You can use this twice. And yeah, ordinary. But you gotta move, or you got a multiplier in her sync move. Become Mega CAMERUPT by using her sync move. And the higher defense is, the stronger your attack stat, or the stronger the multiplier, or the sync move is gonna be. I honestly prefer buffing yourselves up rather than debuffing the opponent in the form of sync move multipliers, because it easily applies to all opponents, not just one opponent. So this is good. But in terms of the lucky skill, or rather the passive skill, you got Defense Crush 2. Every single time you attack an opponent, 20% or 30% chance of lowering the opponent's defense stat. So remember, Bulldoze hits everyone. So you have a 30% chance of lowering everyone's defense stat. Got Chase Down 2. If the opponent's speed stat is lowered, you get to hit the opponent with 20 or 30% stronger damage. Got Anti-Freeze, which prevents you from becoming frozen. And don't forget that she can Mega Evolve her Mega CAMERUPT. And now Defense Crush 2 becomes Defense Crush 9, which every single time you use Bulldoze, not only do you lower the opponent's speed stat, but you also lower their defense stat, guaranteed. And then Chase Down 2 becomes Chase Down 5, which if the opponent's speed stat is lowered by even -1, you get to deal around 50 or 60% stronger bulldoze damage, which I like because bulldoze is a 3-move gauge attack, unlike most of the ground types who have 4-move gauge attacks. And I'm curious if Cynthia will be better than Courtney. We'll see. We'll see. You have ground zone. So again, lucky skill, critical strike 2 personally is my choice, especially for sync pairs that can raise their defense stat, or rather their critical hit rate. And at 1 out of 5, you get an MP refresh 2 for delete. Also, unbending defense cannot be lowered. 2 out of 5, you get healing sun 1. You got healthy healing, speeding sun 2. Lots to do with sun. 3 out of 5, you get bulldoze trip up 4. Which every single time you use bulldoze, you can lower the opponent's speed stat by an additional 50% chance. So if this triggers, you get to lower the opponent's speed stat -2 instead of -1. Hunter's Instinct, the lower the opponent's speed stat is, the stronger your attacks are gonna be. Chase down 5, you have to lower the opponent's speed stat -1 only. Hunter's Instinct, the lower the opponent's speed stat, the stronger your bulldoze is gonna be. Earthston Opening Sync, if you use a sync move for the first time using Courtney, you get to bring ground zone to the field of play without using ground wish. Nice. And then you got Super Sinker. If you use a sync move for the very first time, you get to give yourself a super effective up next. Team Sentry Team Sentry entry, yes. At the start of the battle, you get to raise everyone's speed defense stat. Team-wise entry, start of the battle, you get to raise everyone's special defense stat. Sharp entry, give yourself a critical hit or critical hit +1. And then Towering Force, the higher defense stat is, the stronger your sync move is. This is basically her built-in sync move multiplier separated. So you get 3 multipliers for her. You get Super Sinker. You get built-in Towering Force in the form of her kit. Plus you get a separate Towering Force. And if you decide to bring in Ground Zone, that's an extra damage. So nice multipliers for Courtney and CAMERUPT. And with that said, those are the initial analysis I have for each one of them. Again, should you scout or should you skip, guys? Well, first things first, I highly recommend everyone to wait for the next half, the second half of this update before you decide. They're gonna be gone. Everyone's gonna be gone by the time, by the 3rd year anniversary. But then, the Datamine for the 3rd year anniversary is gonna come before August 27 anyway. So you have like 1-2 days to decide whether you want to scout for each one of them or just skip. Meanwhile, you have a lot of days to decide on Signa Suit May and Signa Suit Brendan. I would say that Dojo Gloria might be better than actually the two of them, or probably, if not Dojo Gloria, Signa Suit Corinna might actually be better than Signa Suit May. If you want a support though, I do not think that Signa Suit Brendan is bad at all. His defense stat is good, or rather, his defense stat is good. His special defense stat is amazing. And I'm not complaining about Revenge 9. Revenge 9 is good. At 3 out of 5, you get Team Tough Luck 4, which basically 50% chance of increasing everyone's defense and special defense. What I'm complaining about is that he can only raise everyone's critical hit rate +1 unless you get an MP refresh on his trainer move. I think it's flying free or something like that. Other than that, you know, he is all-rounder, pretty good. Potion Pitcher, Potion Slave, whatchamacallit. Yeah. If I were to recommend a sync pair here, well, I would recommend either... We have so many fire types, guys. We have so many fire types. You know what? Before we recommend anyone, let us talk about their stats first. As you can see over here, Signa Suit May has the highest attack stat and the highest speed stat, which she can raise her own speed stat even more with Fast Track 9. Signa Suit Brendan has the highest HP stat, has the highest defense, has the highest special defense, and the only sync pair to use the special attack stat. So lots of good things happening to Signa Suit Brendan over here. Speed stat not that high, but not that low either. Luker has the lowest HP, attack, and defense and special defense out of the bunch. But then, it's been a while since we got a poison type, and 370 is not exactly bad at all, so... it's fine. And then Courtney has the lowest speed stat out of the bunch. But then, I believe that Courtney is pretty good. In fact, I think Courtney is actually the best one out of the bunch. If only she was not a Spotlight Scout. If she was a limited unit, I highly recommend getting Courtney as quickly as possible. Not only because, you know, we need ground types. For those who do not have Cynthia, she compares a lot with Cynthia. Signa Suit Giovanni, yes, very powerful, but very slow. Courtney, yes, very slow, but then it's only a 3-move gauge attack instead of a 4-move gauge attack, plus ground zone. Plus, her multipliers deal with increasing your own defense instead of lowering the opponent's defense stats. But then you get to lower the opponent's defense stat with Defense Crush 9. So imagine every single time you hit an opponent, not only you lower their speed, but you also lower your defenses. Lower the opponent's defenses. If you have any other ground type in your team, she will definitely help deal more damage to the opponent because you're lowering the opponent's defense stats. So probably bringing Courtney plus Signa Suit Giovanni as a horrible idea. But then Courtney plus maybe Cynthia. Or maybe once Clay gets an expanded sync grid or something, maybe Courtney will be very good. She does not have any sand multipliers, mind you, but then you got a good debuffer unit, and then you get to lower the opponent's speed stat and defense stat, and I believe that is good enough. Now, let us talk about their multipliers. As you can see over here, you can analyze this for yourself. But Signa Suit May relies on lowering the opponent's defense stats and lowering the opponent's speed stat, increasing your own speed stat. Signa Suit Brendan, at the start of the battle, you get a special moves up next for everyone. Luker relies on the opponent weak to poison and raising your own attack stat. And then Courtney relies on lowering the opponent's speed stat and increasing your defense stat. Now the numbers, stay tuned for my Scout or Skip video where I discuss each one of them. But now, let us quickly discuss. Which one should you scout for? Why should you scout? Why should you skip? On this screen alone, well, if you do not have ground type sync pairs, Courtney is the way to go. But again, she is Spotlight Scout and she will be available on the banners. On the anniversary banners, Courtney will definitely be available, as well as Luker. Meanwhile, Signa Suit May and Brendan, it's very hard to recommend Signa Suit May because of how many fire types we have right now. But if you really need a fire type, if you need a debuffer, probably scout for her. If you love Blaziken, definitely scout for her. If you, well, how should I say this? I'd rather you scout Dojo Gloria than scout for Signa Suit May. But if you love Signa Suit May, by all means, go for Signa Suit May. Signa Suit Brendan, very good tanker. Potion. Tanker plus potion is good. The only sad thing about him is that he can only raise everyone's critical hit rate +1 unless you have the MP refresh, or 3 out of 5 where you get Team Sharp Entry 1. But then, at 3 out of 5, he becomes a very good sync pair and very, very high special defense stat. Very high special defense stat, especially 6-star EX. Again, Signa Suit May, Signa Suit Brendan are Pokefair Scouts. Those are limited sync pairs. And Pokefair Scouts rerun period somewhere between 3 to 12 months. So if you're willing to wait, they will rerun. If you're willing to wait, Luca and Courtney, it will be available by the end of August in the anniversary banners. So, listen to what I say or ignore everything I say because again, faves over the meta. And we still do not know. I mean, they are good, but I believe that they are not good enough to classify as the anniversary bait unit. Because anniversary bait units are crazy good. Last year, the anniversary bait was Signa Suit Leon. Signa Suit Leon has a passive skill called Lucky 7-4. In fact, tune in because my Champion Stadium run, I haven't done my Champion Stadium run yet. I use bait units together with the anniversary units that they come in. So bait units, Lucky 7-4, if you hit an opponent using Dynamax Cannon, 50% chance of lowering the opponent's attack, defense, special attack, special defense, speed, accuracy, evasiveness. 7 stats lowered, 50% chance. That's pretty good. Plus the first Dynamax sync pair. So none of these units, in my opinion, are that level bait yet. So we will know in the second half of this update which unit, how good the bait unit is. As of now, I believe the best bait unit that we have is Dojo Gloria. With Surging Strikes, guaranteed crit for the sync move, guaranteed crit max move, plus lower the opponent's defense stat -3, lower the opponent's speed stat -3 if you have her 3 out of 5, that is, with 1 Surging Strikes. But then, again, scout for whoever you want to scout, or just ignore what I say. The most important thing is that you spend your gems wisely and not regret when you decide to scout or not. But, again, those are the release dates: June 29, 31, or July 29, July 31, August 3, August 5, and the next banner is probably on the 14, 15, 16, somewhere that week. All of these end on August 27. And again, these two will be available in the anniversary banner, most likely. Those two will be gone by the anniversary banner. So, whether you or not you will scout, good luck. Let me know who you're scouting for in the comments section. And now, I would probably be putting their icons in the live chat. So stay tuned for that. Let's have some fun spamming Signa Suit May, Signa Suit Brendan, Luker, and Courtney icons. Let me know which one you're scouting for, members, by spamming the icons of the sync pair that you want. But with that said, stay tuned or tune in if you haven't seen it and know how many gems you will get by watching my How Many Gems Can We Get video. This count is from later until, wait, what time is it? Today until August 14th. So that's the computation, today until August 14th if you're watching this as a premiere. And then that's the first half of August. We will get more by the second half of August. And then, you know, I will be making individual analysis for each one of these guys. So stay tuned for that as well. But in the meantime, I want to give a huge shout out to my awesome members who have been gifted by Shadowfield, Jeremy, and Tatsuya Gold. Hello, every one of you. Thank you. Congratulations on becoming members of this channel. Hope there are more of you guys, and hopefully you guys are active. But to my members who have been supporting me for the very longest time, thank you, Shadowfield. Thank you, Marokman. Thank you, Aryan. Thank you, Tacman. Thank you, Alcin. Thank you, Roy. Thank you, Luca. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, Sasri Ambrion. Thank you, Marcella. Thank you, Lance Nice. Thank you, Iwis. Thank you, Tatsuya Gold. And a shout out as well to Arima, who have been popping in and out randomly. But if you want to become part of the channel, click on the join button down below. Become a member of this channel. Let's have some fun in chat. Get a Pokeball icon beside your name. Have some fun with the emojis. The more members we have, the more emojis we have. Thank you, because if it weren't for you guys, ad revenue is not too good this month. So thank you for all the love. Thank you for all the support. Thank you for all the super chats. Thank you for all the gift memberships. Thank you for all the super things. Really appreciate it. And with that said, this video is over. I'll probably take a nap because I only slept for like 1 hour. I'm starting to have a headache. Good luck! Tomorrow is the release date of Signa Suit May. And tomorrow is also the release date of Xenoblade Chronicles 3, as well as Digimon Survive. I'm gonna stream 3 games tomorrow. Oh my goodness. Anyway, thank you so much. Remember to do this and comment down below. And with that said, this is Sol, also known as SPL Gum, also known as Spatial Gum, also known as Grunt. You're this Team Skull Grunt. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Rawr.